Good morning. I apologize for being a little late. Today is Thursday, July the 18th, 2019, and this is a regular scheduled City of Danville Parking Hearing Board. We have a quorum. I call the meeting to order. First item on today's agenda is the approval of the minutes from 5/23, 2019. After looking at the minutes from that date, I don't see any corrections needed, do you? So I'll make a motion that we accept. Can I get a second? Got a motion to accept and a second the minutes from that meeting. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody not approved? Motion carries. Okay, so today's appeal we have for Ms. Collins, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, if you just step to the podium there in the mic. I did.
Mother Wanda Collins.
And we have a failure to display.
Yes, sir.
Parked near 3rd and Main, in front of the
Chase Bank.
bank there. Yeah. Okay. So, do we have a handicap ticket or permit?
Yes.
Okay.
But she did not display it because she was in the car. She assumed that her presence in the car was enough, obviously. That is not. I'm the one who parked the car in the handicapped spot at the bank, and she was too ill to go in, so I took her deposit slip into the bank for her.
Well, the statute requires you to display it. Anybody can sit in the car.
Oh, yes, sir, that's absolutely right, and I understand it. I'm here mostly on principle. I mean, I advised my mother, I said, pay the $15 and remember always to display it. But she was very distressed, and she was very upset. She's elderly and critically ill. And she said, but I was in the car, and when he saw I was in the car, and I said, here's my placard, I thought it was enough just to be in the car. She felt like he mocked her and disrespected her, and it caused her great distress. And so I'm here mostly on principle, on a point of professional etiquette, let's say, rather than protesting the citation, which I totally understand that it needs to be displayed and it should always be displayed, whether or not the person is in the car.
Well, I don't think that any of our parking officers would be mocking or anything like that. And usually what happens is, in those situations, is that, we all get excuses, for why there's a violation, and those things happen, there's.
Oh, yes, sir, no problem. But she said she opened the door and showed him the placard with the number, and he looked at her and said, too late, and shrugged his shoulders and walked away. And she felt like, as an elderly person and as someone who was ill, she was being disrespected. And so that's what upset her about it. Not that she was getting a citation, but that he didn't engage with her to say, ma'am, that always has to be displayed. Next time, you better display it, which would have been my response. I understand I'm not a law enforcement officer, so he obviously has, or she has, different rules they have to adhere to. But like I said, I'm here mostly on a point of principle.
Like I said, I understand.
I in no way contest the fact that it was not displayed when the person who gave the citation took the photographs. And probably she's very small. She's 5'2", and she's very tiny, my mother. And probably the person who took the photographs was not aware a person was even in the car because she's underneath the level of the headrest.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just looking at the photos, you can't hardly, if she is in there, all I can see the headrest.
Yeah, because they usually are taking it, they start at the back of
At
the
the back
car.
of the car.
Right.
Getting the information and stuff, and if there's any tinting or anything like that, it makes it very difficult to know.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is probably the officer who took the photographs was not even aware she was in the car.
Right, that's what I'm
until
saying.
she got out, and that was her point, that when she got out, she felt like she was not engaged. And she was not engaged with courtesy.
Does it say Tiffany? Who wrote the ticket? Who issued
Roger
the ticket?
Roger
Oh,
issued
Roger
the
did, okay.
It might say Tiffany on there because she had to enter it because of the way our system
was
is right now.
manual,
She's having to
okay.
manually enter it.
Roger, you have anything to say?
I walked around, there was nobody that I could see. Well, the ticket is, I was putting it under the windshield wiper.
Then you noticed her.
In the car, reaching in her purse, and she quick grabbed out her, whatever, her handicap thing.
Right.
Tried to throw it up on
The dash.
it's like, ma'am, I'm sorry, it's too late.
Yeah.
Finish. That's all that happened.
All right.
She did not leave the car.
Yeah.
Was there any other conversation besides that?
She did call me after she got the ticket, that her mother called me, and I tried to explain the stuff to her as well. And
No real other conversations other than that? You have any more?
Also, as a point of principle, I live abroad, and I'm here because my mother is ill, and I'm staying with her while she recovers, should she recover. And one of the other reason I wanted to come is that when I have been engaged in Danville publicly, whether it's at the library or the hospital, or unfortunately we've had EMTs because she's been ill, everyone has been so courteous and so kind that I was kind of shocked when this happened to my mother and when she was distressed, because I said, Mom, are you sure? I said, everyone in this town has been so nice. And so that's another reason why when she said she wouldn't pay the $15 fine, which I said, just go ahead and pay it and chalk it up, you know, because you're ill and you have a lot of other things to do. And she said, no, this is a principle, and it's another reason why I am representing her in this capacity.
That's fine. I'll make a motion to dismiss the ticket. And the reason I'm gonna make that motion is, I will just say this. I think that we have body cams now, and they are just so revealing. And what usually happens is the issuing officer is always very courteous and polite. And the people receiving the ticket always are taken back and are a little bit of an offense. As he said, he'd already started writing the ticket, and the ticket was probably already processed. And nowadays, with things being electronic and how we do things, once we start that process, there's not really a way we can go back into this position.
Yes, and as I said, I understood he probably had no idea someone was in the car.
I understand that, and I'm gonna get to that. So he starts writing the ticket, we start down that process, and the ticket's being written. He sees that, and he has no choice at that point to continue to write the ticket. Your mother probably starts that, I have a ticket, I was in the car, I'll da-da-da-da, which is a legitimate excuse in a way, but it should be displayed, or, you know, we wouldn't have got down this road. But with that being said, the point I'm trying to get to here is that when I look at video, almost every ticket that we issue that somebody complains about, the person getting the ticket is in a position and they feel vulnerable and they feel like they don't get to give their side of the point or get their thing across. But usually, the officers, 99% of the time, have allowed them. And what happens is the person gets frustrated because the officer cannot retract it on the spot. And that's where a lot of times that negative connotation of the interaction is that because that person is frustrated. I've known Roger for a very long time, and that is not his demeanor or his behavior. Like I said, I will make a motion to dismiss the ticket, but they do need to be displayed, and that would help us from getting into these situations
Oh,
again.
absolutely. And as I said, I have no problem if I have to pay the $15 fine. As I said, I came here on principle just to expose her point of view.
I understand. And like I said, the biggest thing I want to say is as an official, as a police officer, there's always 2 points of view. So, Mr. Knight, I made a motion to dismiss the ticket. Are you good with that or not? Okay, the motion's been second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. I wish your mother well, if she
Thank you.
can recover. Hope it doesn't take too much time. Appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I see no other appeals for today. Is that correct?
That's correct. I did want to tell Alan, I hadn't sent that out. We did put on we got a second reading on the ordinance for Monday to have a $50 boot charge. So if we get somebody that doesn't pay and has 3 citations, then we will also be able to charge them the $50 boot charge that we talked about in a previous meeting, so.
All right. With no other items on today's agenda, I'll take a motion to dismiss and adjourn. All right. Second, I will. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries to adjourn. Thank you all.